Hey there guys, Gretchen here. Today is the one of the gut day one. Oh, gut day one. That sounds weird, like a gym workout. Gut day one. Whoa. Anyway, so why gut? Why? Because there is a brain-gut axis and a gut-brain axis. Yes, it's bidirectional. Scientists have since proven this. Herbalists throughout the eons have known, traditional Chinese medicine herbalists, Ayurvedic, Japanese Kampo creators, Korean herbalists, Native American indigenous, North American indigenous, lots of indigenous everywhere. I'm not really familiar with a lot of them. So I'm going to post below the link to the study that I pulled a lot of my information off of. And I'm going to read this really quickly to you and then explain what I just read. So the gut-brain axis is bidirectional communication network. We just said that. So it links the enteric and central nervous system. So your enteric and your central nervous system. This network extends to include the endocrine, humoral, metabolic, and immune routes of communication as well. All right, so what that means, okay, let me continue this first. The autonomic nervous system, the ANS, the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis, the HPA axis, which we speak about often, and the nerves in the GI tract, the gastrointestinal tract, all link the gut and the brain, allowing the brain to influence intestinal activities, including activities of the functional immune effector cells. And the gut's ability to influence mood, cognition, and mental health. So it affects a lot of systems. It affects your endocrine system, it affects your HPA axis, it affects your central nervous, it affects your enteric nervous, it affects your GI tract. This is just from having a bad gut. And tomorrow we're going to go through the herbs and the foods. I'm going to show you real quick my little notes here, my sloppy notes, all the herbs and the foods there. Some of these you'll be able to correct with food and smoothie. Some of these I will just give you a supplement also if you just are interested in that, because I know some people just want to pop that supplement, be on their way. Other people want to do their smoothie and stuff. And then there's going to be a mushroom. And then I have like the big badass herbs too, which I'll put at the end of that video tomorrow, that really deal with like GERD and stuff. All right, so what they've found, what the scientists have now found, is that several mood disorders such as anxiety, depression, and autism spectrum disorder now have well-established links to functional GI disruptions, whereas GI disease, like irritable bowel syndrome, irritable bowel disorder, Crohn's, all of that, often involve psychological comorbidities associated with the alteration of the gut microbiome. In addition, research has demonstrated that the composition of the gut bacterial the gut bacteria appears to be influential in fetal and neonatal neurological development. So what that means is you might have been born with anxiety depending on your mom's diet when she was pregnant with you. My youngest son definitely exhibits signs of high functioning spectrum. He exhibits the same signs I do. However, his were a little more telltale in youth. I feel that's a lot because the diet that I had when I was pregnant with him was not as good as the diets that I had when I was pregnant with his siblings. We had more access to better food at that point, which means that in the 90s I had access to food with more chemicals, food dyes, processed foods that had pink salt in it. And see, these are things that will destroy your gut. Corn syrup, if you're here in the States, is registered high fructose corn syrup. That stuff's crap. I mean, it will literally give you cancer if you eat it long enough. There are scientific studies that back this up because of the type of corn that it's made out of. Same with anything that is not organic corn or non-GMO corn and soy, that one as well. Those will definitely rip up your gut. So will the food colorings. A lot of this stuff, processed foods, big time. Sodas, it's like those things, you should not even drink those. Like, if you do, you do. Like, just do in moderation. I'm not going to tell you what you should and should. I will tell you what you should and should not eat, but you know what? Ultimately, your diet's on you. And if you know you have gut problems, but you're downing freaking, um, I don't know, anything made by Nestle or like anything made by General Foods, that's all like super gonna be super. It's all gonna be super processed, have loads of chemicals and sugar in it, and be no good for your body. You get anything with a commercial basically is gonna suck for your body. All right. So what they did, and they had two different groups of mice. They had specific pathogen-free mice, and then they had germ-free mice. And I'm going to refer to the specific pathogen-free mice as the mud kids, because these will be like the people who played in the mud as children. Apologies, my back is still a little hitched from a damage I did last week. And then the germ-free mice. So the germ-free mice will be like people who Purell with everything. And I know a lot more people Purell now because COVID. So, all right. They did these experiments, and they did where the colon microbiota microbes were altered, and then altered the HPA axis. So they introduced something to the guts of these mice, these two specific groups. And they found that both of them, when they altered the gut microbiota, the HPA axis was affected. So the HPA axis is responsible for producing 50 to 60 hormones in your body, including the ones that keep us in fight, flight, freeze, that keep us stressed out, that keep us in anxiety mind. In addition to this, it also affected the limbic system. It affected the prefrontal cortex. It affected the hippocampal and the amygdala. So it affected a good chunk of your brain. And that was just that's a little bit messing with your gut. If you had celiac disease, if you've had any type of like thing that's like wiped out your gut and you've done no repairs, your brain's definitely been affected. So we need to fix the gut to fix the brain, because the gut can do this thing called leaky gut. So once you get leaky gut, that gets into your bloodstream, and then that crosses over to the blood-brain axis. Now, that being said, people who have anxiety, because they enumerate on things, they cause gut problems. One of the ways that your gut speaks to your brain is through the vagus nerve. You know, we've talked about the vagus nerve before with the oming, and we just did the vibrational healing videos, so this should fall right in line. We're going to om and stimulate that vagus nerve, om, with our legs up the wall 15 minutes a day, and that's going to really help that gut health, help that brain health, and help clear out a lot of that. Plus, it gets rid of a lot of that chitter chatter in your head, keeping you out of your brain, keeping you from destroying your gut. So om 15 minutes a day. Because what happened with these mice, when they kept going down the anxiety road, both sets, okay, both the Purell kids and the mud kids, when they kept having these anxiety and didn't fix their gut, had this anxiety, guess what happened then? Their BDNF factors dropped. So their BDNF factors, what happens when that drops is then you are more likely to have Alzheimer's, dementia, Huntington's disease, Parkinson's disease, ALS, and MS, those neurological, neuroinflammatory diseases. Those are really, really big ones. So it's like super important we fix your gut to help you not only clean up that trauma mind, but also to make sure that you keep a nice healthy brain going forward and don't develop these big neurological disorders. All right, thank you for joining me for this. I hope you found this information really educational. It's another tool in your healing for your trauma. And tomorrow we're going to go through the herbs, the food, the mushrooms, and the roots, everything. We're going to get through everything, hydration. We're going to go through them in different categories. There's going to be like, here's what you can eat. Here is, a couple extra little supplement things. Here are the big badass ones. why hydration is so important. Y'all drink some more water, okay? Whatever your weight is, take that, divide it in half, and that's about how many ounces you should drink. If you drink caffeine, add some more water on that because caffeine will dehydrate all of your organs. And hydration is really super important when recovering systems like your gut and your brain. So if you enjoyed this and would like to see more like this, please hit that subscribe button for me. And I do speak with members live every Sunday at 2 o'clock my time. So you'll have to check out what that is for your time. Anyway, I'll see you tomorrow with the herbs. Gut day number 2. Huh. Until next time, namaste.